Hello, welcome to scr1tno Knitting Project Podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family and my animals. Today is Tuesday the 9th of November 2021 and this is episode 113. Welcome if you're a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. Wow. Goodness me, last week's podcast was a short one and I don't think this one's going to be much better. Life is well and truly getting in the way of my crafting at the moment, but we're going to have a catch up, and excitingly this week we have got some prize winners. Because of that I'm going to go straight into admin. Now I drew the 1,000 subscriber giveaway off kind of live because it's such a faff, but I have recorded it. That should go in here. Okay, I can't do anything about the light, unfortunately, that's shining on the screen. Yes, I can. Let's do that. So we're going to choose the giveaway winner. So I need to select that, copy, paste, filter duplicate users, include replies to comments, no, filter comments on basis of specific text, no. No. Get you your YouTube comments. Amount of unique comments is 84, so let's see who's won. Joy Martinez. Hi Sharon, I love your podcasts and vlogs. The caravan videos have been really interesting and your campy ones too. I enjoyed seeing you make your camp stew one pot meal. Oh, brilliant. There we go, so you're the winner. So, Joy Martinez, please do get in touch with me. So, well done to Joy Martinez. Could you email me on scr1tno@outlook.com and I will get your prize sorted for you. I haven't got it for you to show you, but you would have seen it from when I did it. The other prize I need to do is the sock KAL. So the October sock KAL, the thread shut in the middle of last week, and we had 45 entries on Ravelry, but the first one was the actual initial post, so it's 2 to 45 on Ravelry, and then I've had 3 on Instagram, so in actual fact it's going to be 2 to 48 if my math is correct. And I'm really sorry to everybody whose Alexas I'm about to set off. Alexa, choose a random number please between 2 and 48.
Your random number between 2 and 48 is 47.
Wow, okay, that's brilliant. So that is the second entry on Instagram, which is Nikki Knitter. I've just written these down, so hold on. It's that one. If that's you, please get in touch. So it's Nikki, NICCI_knitter. Please do get in touch. It's the first time we've had an Instagram winner, so I'm really excited about that. Oh, and what have you won? You have won this lovely ball of yarn from Joanna Wood Paint, and it's Monet's Water Lilies, which I think is beautiful. It's not quite as bright as it's showing up on camera right now. It's a little bit more subtle than that. The blue isn't quite as that's more of a purple than a blue, if I'm honest. I get it to, no, I can't get it to do anything because it's so bright in here today. But yeah, so that's what you've won. So Nikki Knitter, also if you could either, I mean you can DM me on Instagram, but I may not see it, so you're probably safer to email me as well, which is again scr1tno@outlook.com. If you have been a September prize winner, you haven't missed your prize, it just hasn't been sent out yet. I intend to get to those next week. Yeah, as you know, I was away for most of October and I haven't got around to posting stuff, so I'm going to get that done next week. Yeah, so November, let's just run through whose November's dyers are, because there's quite a few I think for November. We've got Country Mouse Yarns, which I think is a Canadian one, Paintbox for the commercial, Henny Penny Makes, Leading Men Fibre Arts, which is US I believe, Kirby Werby Yarn, which I also believe is US. I've got On Live, I'm not sure what that is. Someone I think suggested it, so yeah. Biscotti Yarns and Timber Yarns. So if you use any of those, you get an extra entry. There are some amazing socks already on this thread. What's your name? Hold on, bear with me a minute. These socks are amazing. Carol. C4ROLMS, so it is Carol, but spelt way, a different way. Plaid blanket socks. Honestly, go check that out. It's post number 2 if you can use Ravelry. They are incredible. Really pretty. Right, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Let's stop. So that's it for prize winners. Other admin things. I'm going to set up a Patreon and hopefully have it go live for the end of this month. I will give you more details in next week's podcast when I've ironed them out. I'm also thinking of doing some teaching, but not like classes. I was thinking I'd do more one-to-one. So the idea would be, if you've got anything in particular you would like to learn, we could do it that way. So details again of that I will post at some point in the very near future. I probably won't start it till January, just because it's so busy, isn't it, coming up to Christmas. I possibly won't have time. The idea is to do like an hour-long slot. So if that's something you'd be interested in, please do email me on scr1tno@outlook.com. Let me know what you would like to have help with. So it's not so much teaching as a surgery as well. So if there's a pattern you'd really like to do but you're stuck, that sort of thing. If you've made a mistake and you want help fixing it, yeah, just anything like that. And it's just something that I would like at some point to give up the day job, basically. That's my aim in life. I'd like to start something crafty. Now, obviously, with things as they are at the moment, actually being able to do it on Zoom would be really helpful. So the idea would be we would have a Zoom one-to-one and I can help you with whatever you're stuck on. If it's brioche, I may have to pass because I'm not that great with brioche myself yet, but my goal is to learn that over the next few weeks. So I want to try and do some brioche patterns. It could be interesting. But everything else I'm fairly okay with. It would be knitting, not crochet. However, I do know a really good crocheter who might be able to help you. So yeah, that's what I'm sort of thinking of doing. As I said, it wouldn't be so much like formal classes, more one-to-one help or teaching. If there's a technique you like to learn, like the left leaning decrease, right leaning decrease, knitting socks on 2 circulars, anything like that, let me know. And yeah, let me know in advance so I can have a really good look at it and we can sort of set out what we want to do. But yeah, that's my theory. But again, all of those will come out as a detail. I am at some point also going to set up a newsletter, and then that will give details of all of this far more eloquently than I'm actually speaking. Right, anyway, that's the boring bits. So to get on with the actual knitting, because that's what you're here for, isn't it? I've got not a full rotation because, as I said, life. But day one is socks, and that's hanging out in my bag from Kelly that Kelly kindly made me. And I didn't mark where I was last time on these, which is a bit of a disaster. I'm hoping there is more progress on these than just that line of green. So I need to make sure I progress these. But isn't these fab? They're going to be a proper bright rainbow. So I knit my socks concurrently. And absolutely love how these are turning out. They're going to be super bright. And that's the current mini, and then once I've got that mini in the leg I'll be doing the heel, but I need to get on with that if I'm honest. So that's my socks. Nothing really to say about that because it's exactly the same as last week, and if I haven't made any progress I don't want to bore you. Day 2 is probably just about as exciting as day 1. Day 2 is my Stephen West, and as you know I'd finished Clue 2 last week. And I've moved on to Clue 3. If you don't want spoilers, skip ahead, but I mean I'm on Clue 3 and the whole thing's been finished now, so presumably everybody kind of knows what it looks like. But my Clue 3, you had a choice of doing brioche or a mesh, Now I've done the mesh because I have not got time at the moment to do brioche, muck it up and then have to frog it. Oh, excuse me a moment, that's my phone being interrupting us. Go away, phone. Yeah, so I'm doing the mesh one, so I don't know whether you will have seen it with the mesh, but this is how the mesh is turning out. You are striping colours A and B. So my colour A is this beautiful colour here, and my colour B is this one, and it's looking so good. I love it. I love it so much. It's sparkly too. It's very sparkly. So if I hold that bit out, maybe you can kind of get the gist of it. It's very subtle, but it's just very me, isn't it? Very me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this done. So I'm trying to do a little bit on it each rotation, and I've done quite a bit actually, because it was where the little bobbles were. So I've done kind of those rows there, and they're quite long rows now because we've just increased up from 200 stitches to over 400 stitches. So it takes a little while to do the rows. Now, one of the rows is a knit two to get the yarn over, so that does take a while, but the return row is just plain pearl, so that doesn't take as long. But yeah, I absolutely love this. I really do. Yeah. If it wasn't Christmas, that would all I'd be knitting on. So that's living in my dandelion and dogwood bag, my lovely big bag. I will be doing my project bag swap on Sunday, so next week you should see all different project bags, all Christmas related. Get all my Christmas themed bags out. Oh, got my hair in that one. So that's day 2. Oh, I can't put that down there this week. Okay, that's going to be fun. Day 3 is Christmas knitting, and that is hanging out in my Christmas bag. I mean gift knitting, Christmas knitting. And I had a query on these. These are the Tchaikovsky knits by Helen Stewart, Curious Handmade, and are from Knit Vent. I think it's 2019. And that's what they look like. They are lovely. Now I am doing a MCN, which is a Craft House Magic MCN, which I think is Strawberry Fields, but don't quote me on that. It's blowing out well, isn't it? And I'm using a Rowan Kid Silk Haze. Oh, I love how these are coming out held together. And look, now I was down there because I only worked on these last night, so I was down there and I have done some of these. I can't wait to get these done actually. And they're going to my friend. Yeah, she's gonna love them. She's going to love them. It's such a lovely intuitive pattern to knit, and it's super quick as well. And I have loads of fluff, and I have loads of MCN as well, so I'm thinking I might make quite a few of these double. The only problem with this is I do suffer with the mohair getting on my chest, which makes me cough, which I noticed last week when I was editing the podcast. After I'd done this section, there was a lot of cuts where I had to cough. So, slightly allergic to it, but hey, I mean, I could get away with using this because it's on my hands. Wearing it on my head, I'm okay, but it's not great, whereas on my hands I'm sure I'd be fine. It is far enough away, but it's coming out so well. It's so pretty. You've just got these little pearl bumps texture, and it's got a twisted rib cuff. It's just lovely. So that's what I'm doing with my gift knitting. I have got a DK in here, which is a Down Sheepy Lane DK that I want to use as well. But these are great just if you're car knitting. I mean, admittedly I have to actually leave the house to car knit, which I haven't done recently, but more about that on Life Stuff. Right, we should just have a pause while my neighbour uses his leaf blower, I think. Is he going to get going? I always live in hope that one day this thing will run out of petrol and you won't be able to use it. Okay, we'll carry on for a minute. Day 4 is my Bowline, which is the baby jumper I am knitting for my grandson, who very possibly has grown out of it. I haven't gone any further on that this week, so I do need to get on with that. Day 5 is my Whitmore. Now I have made some progress on this. I'm desperate to get this finished for the Lay family retreat. However, I think I'm far enough down it now that if I wasn't to go any further, I could put it on, try it on tubing and just leave it and wear it. But that's the yarn I'm using. I'm sorry, I'm really blowing out today. This is awful. It's because the sun's got round, because I'm a little bit later recording. So this is Lay family yarn, which is why I want it for the Lay family yarn retreat, in her vintage China colourway, which is my favourite colourway. That and Something About Atlantis, both of those I love. And where's my little lady? Oh, I'm not seriously in the middle. I'm in the middle of a row. Oops. Right, okay, bear with. Where's my little lady gone? There she is. So I was where that little lady is. Now, this is a lovely little progress keeper from Katie, who is Candy Mint Apple, and linked in the show notes. I love her. So she's keeping my progress on my jumper at the moment, and as you can see, I have made quite a bit of progress on this week. It's just backwards and forwards knitting and purling, but I've got it in a basket next to me on the sofa, so I just pick it up and do random rows whenever I feel like it, and in that respect it is getting done. So I've done the first sleeve and the second sleeve. So I've done the sleeves because when I'm knitting a garment, I like to get the sleeves done, because then I don't have to do them once I've knit the garment. So it's not as, once the body's done, it's done. You haven't got to worry about doing the sleeves. But also, it's not so heavy to wrangle the sleeves if you do it at that point. So as soon as I can spit off for the sleeves, I do the sleeves, and then I carry on with the rest of the garment. But also then, whatever yarn you've got left is whatever yarn you've got left, so you know how long you can do the body. So it works. It's very practical to do sleeves that way, and that's the way I always do them. I always do my sleeves as soon as I can. But yeah, I love this. So this is the Whitmore. It's the Whitmore Cardigan as opposed to the Whitmore jumper. I have got a Whitmore jumper as well. And it is a pattern by Amy Loudon, who is Little Tailoress Studios. And I love the pattern. The pattern really does hold your hand. It's really good. It's a very clever way that she does the button band, so that you don't have to go back and do the button band afterwards, which is something else I appreciate. I've not put buttonholes in mine because I never wear my cardigans done up, so I don't see the point of putting buttons on it. If I change my mind and decide that I do want to put buttons on it, I'm going to cut in afterthought buttonholes, but I probably will not change my mind. It'll be fine. And yeah, it's so pretty. I'm glad I am getting on with that though, because I really do want it done, and I'm going to the Lay family retreat on the 3rd of December, so it's getting here really, really quickly. It's amazing how quickly these things do sneak up on you. So that's day 5, my Whitmore, and it's living in my Bags from Awesome Granny bag. Bags by Awesome Granny bag, which is a caravan bag, which I got long before the caravan. So day 6 is blanket day, and I have an epic FO. I have finished my Christmas blanket, and I do absolutely love it. I'm not going to be able to show it to you in its entirety because it's massive, and that is an edge, so that's how I finished it off. So I've joined my squares together like that, and then I have edged it with just a single crochet around the edge all the way around. That was a labour of love. but it was so worth it because it's really just finished off the squares, made those edge squares really square squares, and it does have the look of a patchwork blanket, which is what I was aiming for. Now I am going to stand up, so we're going to have to go in sections because it's too big. It's really heavy too. I love it so much. It's all different squares, but there is, as you can see, there is a real patchwork theme to it. It's very much a patchwork placing of the yarn, and this is the final side. So actually all 4 sides are slightly different as well, because I chose different yarns for different sections. So the idea was, I'm going to pick this up and pop it on the desk for a minute and stand up and do this. So I had 10 squares that were alternating 2 mini skeins, so that's 1 and 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that did that half of the strip, and then I had the next 10, which were these ones. So it would have been these 2 that I alternated, and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also tried to do more of a solid and more of a speckle as the alternates. So as you can see all the way down on that bit, there is a solid, more of a solid one and more of a speckled one, and it works out that then that also the solid one and the speckled one were above and below each other, as well as side to side. So there was a lot of thought about yarn placement on this one. Not so much that row, because they all sort of kind of were speckled and all tonal, shall we say. And that row was quite similar in colour, but even so it still works. So there was a lot of thought about yarn placement with this. Now there is a row, don't know where that is. There's a row on here somewhere where I used 10 gram minis, and it didn't work as well. That row, no, not that row. Let's have a look. One of these has got to have been it, that row. So it would have been 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, and then I had 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then again 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. I wasn't keen how that came out, so I only did that for a couple of rows and then gave up on that idea. So for this blanket you had to use 20 gram minis. As long as you had 20 gram minis. Sorry about that. Right, so yeah, for these 10, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you needed 20 gram minis. 10 gram minis didn't work. So I picked out from my mini collection all of the ones that screamed Christmas at me. So it's mostly greens and reds, there's a bit of gold in there, there's some icy blue, but mostly they're just colours that when I looked at it I went, oh, that screams Christmas at me. The only one I'm not so keen about is this one here, but I was doing it and I did think about taking it back out again, but it really does balance that square there. So in actual fact it does work. Not so keen about having the 2 blue squares together there either, but hey ho. I am not taking it apart now, although it wouldn't actually be that difficult because you just have to undo the strip, but I'm not doing it. So each square is made up of granny stitch, and it's 5 rounds of granny stitch, of granny clusters. So I've started with 4 grannies in the middle. So I've done my chain. I chained 4, and then I did 4 granny clusters into that chain, made it into a loop, sorry, and then did 4 clusters into the granny, into the loop. I then did a 1 chain between each of the 4 clusters, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. When I finished that, I turned it round to go back and do the corners. So each time I reached the beginning of the round again, I turned it round the other way, and you do get a really square that way, which is what's helping give this the patchwork look. I then joined each of the square to its friend next door with a single crochet, and then I joined, once I'd got a whole strip, I joined the strip to the one below also with a single crochet, and I did it by going through just a single V on the bottom square and a single V on the top square. So you've actually got a little ridge along the line, along the side, which also helps make it look very square. I also made sure I did that for the edge too, so that you've got a little edge to the square. I might be able to see it a bit better on the green one there. So there was a lot of thought went into this blanket about placement, about which colours, not only which colours are going that way, but which colours are going this way too. Because I was trying to avoid sort of having 2 green solids together or 2 red solids together. I didn't have enough gold minis. That's the only thing. I haven't got much gold in this blanket. There's the old one. So I did try with my colour placement. I did try quite hard. So there was a lot of thought went into this blanket, but it was an easy blanket to do. I mean, a square took me about 15 minutes. Joining the strips together probably about half an hour. And edging it took me 4 hours, I think, to go around the edges. But I'm really glad this is done. So this is done before Christmas. So the squares, each strip is 20 squares in total. So I was going to do it 20 by 20, but I didn't like the idea of it being a square. So I've actually done it 20 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I've done it 20 by 17. Now I am going to release this as a pattern. I'm not going to charge for said pattern because there's nothing in this that's my own work other than perhaps the colour placement side of it. But I will release this as a pattern. I don't anticipate doing that before Christmas, but if you do want to have, you do want to know what I did and that wasn't detailed enough for you, just drop me a message. Email me on scr1tno@outlook.com and I will try and answer your questions. But I have loved making this. I'm so glad it's finished. I finished a blanket, guys. I think that's 2 this year because I finished a habitation throw as well. Did I not this year? I think it's my 2nd blanket I finished. But so it just goes to show that working a little bit on a project every day does pay off in the end. But wow. epic finished object. I absolutely love it and cannot wait to have it on the sofa for Christmas. Right, that is the end of the knitting section. I was just going to show you something in my journal and then we're into Happy Mail. So this is my daily journal, and this is the lovely journal I got from Rachel of Sew Me, and I do an entry each day in it of just anything really that's caught my eye on that day. I've got some great washi tape from Rachel that does the days of the week, so they look really fab. And this was yesterday's entry. This I found in the garden and I just thought this was so pretty. I was doing some gardening. I'm clearing out our little bit of a mess of a garden down there, and I discovered this leaf. I just, it's so gorgeous. So that was yesterday's entry. And my point for this is I found this amazing leaf skeleton when I was doing my 15 minutes in the garden today. I thought it was stunning, if a little sad. And my point is, my journal isn't necessarily all about my day. Sometimes it's just something fun or something that has spoken to me in the garden. Sorry, my dog's chatting to my neighbour at the bottom of the garden. That's hysterical. I think she's feeding her. She's giving her treats. That's That's cute. Anyway, sorry. So it doesn't have to be like about my day. It doesn't, because my planner, to be fair, is a really good indication of what my day was, because I've written it all down. So I don't really need that. But this is just anything that takes my fancy from the day. And I loved that when I found that yesterday. I'm trying to see if I can show you another page. I can't, unfortunately. I've got some bits in here that are pictures of Christmas presents, and oh yeah, I need to tell you about that. Didn't know this. And hey Meg, Meg watches from time to time. So no more spoiling Megan's Christmas presents online. She knows she's getting her socks and she keeps asking me about it, so I now have the needles for those, and I have the pattern because Jules has released her pattern. So these are the Christmas socks that I'm knitting. Jules has released the pattern that goes with them. So this is a sock set from Lay Family Yarn. There's that, and then there's this beautiful bouquet yarn as well that goes with it. I've got my needles. I've just got some Knit Pro needles to go with this one. And Jules has released, it's called the St. Nick's sock pattern. There we go. So I will be using that. And as I said, it's the St. Nick's pattern, which is on Rav and Etsy. So go check out Jules of So Sweet Violet for the pattern for it. Happy Mail. And one of these was literally what was just delivered. So I have not opened this yet. So you're going to see a live reaction to the October Giddy Yarns Marvellous Minis Club. So if you've not received yours, which is a fair chance that you may not have done, you might want to look away. So this is the Marvellous Monthly Minis Club by Giddy Yarns. I've got the DK base. Oh wow, they're so pretty. Oh, I like these ones. They're so lovely. And as I said, this is from Giddy Yarns. Right, have you looked away? Because I really don't want to spoil you, and these have just come into my house, so I'm sure everybody's kind of just getting them. Right, ready? Oh, they're so beautiful. So, so pretty. Oh, love them. You can look back now. Oh, so yes, hot off the press there. And the other things I've got are misbehaving badly. Can't get them to lay flat, no matter how hard I try. Okay, so stop crinkling. So this is the new Lay Family Yarn Club, Minis Club. It's called Squiddle Village. It's Squiddle Village 2022, and this is the first minis from that club. This is January's mini set. Kelly is running another knit along, and basically you can knit anything you like as long as you use most of the yarn. Kelly herself is making a jelly roll blanket. I am considering crochet. I mean, I'd love to crochet a granny stripe, but I never end up with my ends always go wrong, and I end up with it going like that. I've already got a Lay Family Yarn Cordon to Corner blanket on the go, so I don't really want to do that. So I'm thinking about maybe knitting, crocheting granny squares like I have for my Christmas blanket, but making them bigger, because I've got lots of the grey yarn that I used to join them together left, and I think it would go really well. So that's what I'm thinking of doing with those, and I thought I could just leave them sort of in a basket somewhere, or a bucket somewhere, and just get on with them. I've just realised I've not spoken about a project. I missed a project. Whoops. Shall I go back to that in a moment? This is so sorry. This is all over the place, isn't it? I'm really sorry. But yeah, so that's the minis. It's a very pretty club. Kelly's done an Instagram live that is on her Instagram account, all about the knit along if you want to have a look. She mentioned that obviously if you're doing a square a day, that you can join in my square a day, which will be going on next year. And this is this is the project I missed. This is my current square a day. I have gone back to a Cosy Memory blanket and I love it. So since you last saw this, I've done those 3. That is Sherry Iris, that is Lay Family Yarn, and that is Bumbling Yarns. Oh, that's such a pretty colour. That is either the Mango Sunrise or the Mango Sunset. I can't remember which way around it is, but I love it. So this is the start of my baby Cosy Memory blanket, and you are allowed whips in my knit along. So if you've got one that you're starting, I know definitely the lovely Heather has started hers. Heather, I still haven't sent your package out. I will get on that this week. And yeah, totally whips are allowed. Just get ahead for next year. Oh, I love this. It's, yeah, definitely my happy place of a morning. Just sitting and knitting my square. Not that I had a chance to this morning. I was up way too late to knit a square. So that's, oh, that is currently living in my So Rami bucket bag, which I love. Rachel made a couple that were giant sized. Like, it's perfect for this project. Right, so I think that's it. I think that's the end of the knitting and happy mail and everything else. Oh, right, news from the knitting project. Do I have any news? For a start off, I'm drinking a soft drink today. I've got a cold brew tea, which is just a Tetley's one, and it's an orange and something, and it's really yummy. I had my COVID booster on Saturday, and I won't lie, it knocked me a little bit more than I thought it would. I didn't have any reactions at all to both of my actual jabs, but the booster made me really tired, and I had Pfizer all 3 times, so I had no idea why that was. Maybe I was just going to be tired anyway. On Saturday, which was after the booster, I had a very quiet day, but the previous night, on the Friday night, we had a lot of fireworks going off around where we live, and a close friend of ours has a small animal zoo. It's called the Ark, and we are very dear friends with her, and they sadly lost an animal due to the fireworks on Friday night. It was so scared, and something, I don't know the exact mechanics, but it's something to do with the amount of adrenaline that attacks the heart, gives them a heart attack. So on Saturday night, although they had loads of staff there on the Friday night, on the Saturday night we volunteered, myself and Meg, to go and stay with the animals, to try and calm them down, try and distract them. So because we knew Saturday would be really bad, and in actual fact it was fine. It was not too bad at all, and we didn't lose any animals. It was great, but it was a lovely way to spend the evening with Arctic foxes, meerkats, and guinea pigs and rabbits and goats, and yeah, it was really good. But it's very sad that you can lose animals that way, especially when it's your business, and they're very, very well loved. She teaches like a little zoo school, and kids go there to learn about the animals, learn how to look after the animals, how to care for them medically as well. So she does an amazing job, but yeah, that was really sad. So that's what we did Saturday night. And then Sunday, I literally had the day on the sofa. I'm doing a test knit for a friend, and I did that, and I can't show you that one because that's the secret one. Then yesterday was a normal work day. I did work, and then in the evening I conked out. I was really tired, so I think it still affected me a little bit, and I did a little bit on my shawl and a little bit on the mitts. So my rotation isn't so much a day-to-day thing, although I try to keep it like that, but also I'm trying to do little bits here and there. Right, what's happening this week? Nothing's happening this week. I have nothing to share this week, thankfully. It's just a quiet week. On Saturday we are going to Ardingly to do a balloon glow, and on Sunday I am marching and Remembrance Day parade, and then I will do the Christmas bag swap. I will try and video that. I think I put it up as a snippet last year. I think that's where the snippet started. So I will try and do that this this time round as well, so that will go up. Details of Patreon and the class and the teaching or surgery, whatever you'd like to call it, will arrive in the next few weeks. And congratulations to my prize winners today. Please do get in touch. As I said, probably best if you can email me on scr1tno@outlook.com. Right, I think that's going to be it for the rest of the day. It would appear that my wish was granted and next door's leaf blower actually ran out of petrol because I've not heard it. Yay. Right, I need to get on. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care and I will see you next week. So of course, just because I'm trying to video this for the podcast as my finished object, you're going to have a demi too. Next stems. This is what it looks like. It's almost like it's two separate blankets because of the changeover in the middle. Really? Well, I think it's got the cat seal of approval, hasn't it? Alright, cutie. Oh, I'm so pleased with it. Definitely get that patchwork effect, don't you? And it's sealed. I'm definitely going to use my Squiddle Village minis to make something else like this because I love it. The only problem is they're only 10 grams. So I'm going to have to rework my thinking of how I do it. But yeah. No, it's not for you to play with.